Alright, another video. Kind of a depressing video, I think. Just kind of lamenting the daunting task of getting the human race up to speed with, like, the reality thing. So it really isn't going to happen. They can't even get up to speed on simple justice, not defending and advocating for liars and cheaters. It really is disgusting. Our society is so ugly and crass, and human beings are they're basically tacky little animals. We got no higher destiny or greater dignity. It's just dismal. And there's a tiny percentage of humans doing this little conversation thing, talking about reality. And even among that group, the ones that go to university, they just read these standard jibber-jabber classic philosophy bullshit. And that's as far as it goes. The big cutting edge is to, play around with, quantum theory blocks, stacking a bunch of nonsense on nonsense there, inventing new religions. And that's the best they can do. There's just nothing very impressive happening. And we're even on the brink of this, second Great Depression, the Greater Depression maybe, who knows. Just all don't worry, be happy, just sloppy and, yuck. So anyway, it really isn't the truth. It's just so obvious. We have the information we need. There's still a bunch of people out there thinking, well, there's some sort of special knowledge around the corner somewhere. Like we'll keep walking, and we'll fall off the end of the earth because it's flat, and fall into a big knowledge bucket or something. And that shit ain't gonna happen. We know the game. Consumption and reproduction. That's the consequence. You invent a reproducing machine, a biological machine, and this is what it is. It's consumption and reproduction. And we're just, as I keep saying, an eccentric variety. We're not a better variety. We're just more eccentric. We have more nuance and style. We have style points. But it's the same ball game. It's nature at its worst. I was contemplating this too because there's these hawks that have been hanging around in the trees around my house. They make quite a racket. I didn't know the hawks talk so much. Just incessant. It's just this, it's kind of a lousy sound. And you can just imagine them being dinosaurs. You can see the dinosaur nature in there, the history. You can just imagine what the primitive jungles were like, just full of a bunch of animals looking for their opportunity to pounce another animal. And, being in such thick forest, they had to have some way to communicate with each other, so they all make their little crappy noise. It must have been just maddening, all the sounds of all the creatures saying, I am going to eat you. Yeah. So anyway, but that's, hawk's a beautiful bird, but beautiful is a subjective pile of crap word. So it doesn't mean anything. It's a killing machine. It consumes and it reproduces like all the other biologicals. And we keep pretending there's some other game that goes on this life planet because humans are here. And because the humans are here, somehow it's more dignified than just consumption and reproduction to accomplish absolutely nothing, to satisfy needs and drives, desires contrived by our biology to compel us to do what is required to survive. Like that's an accomplishment. Maintaining your structure, is the end, you know. And if you can, you know, maintain it through the future genetically, even though it won't you be you personally. It's just, that's it. That's all there is. And it's reason for human beings to pause. That fact should give humans pause. It should just say to them, wait a minute, we gotta think this through. We gotta know what the hell we're doing. We can't just be, you know, enslaved by a molecule, but we're enslaved by all kinds of things. We're apparently very compliant to the idea of slavery, because we're slaves to wages and slaves to all kinds of stupid politics and ideology, and we're a slave to a molecule. But we won't, I mean, the human race just can't seem to rise above this kind of bullshit. They're emotionally living life, and they're not spending the time required to understand the life they're living, to see it for what it really is, to see past, you know, the hunger and the drive and the desire and the want, and they just, you know, they're not going to do it. And so making these videos is probably a waste of time. Because let's say, I mean, there are people who say, yeah, thanks for making your video, gave me some insight, blah, blah, blah. Well, what good is the insight going to do you? If you can't stop the machine, if you can't stop the 7 billion human race from stepping in all kinds of unsustainable mud, then what good is it to know the truth? I'm not saying you should be willfully ignorant, because that's really obscene. I mean, these assholes who say, well, I know my religion's probably bullshit, but it gives me comfort, or some kind of bullshit. I mean, that's just so offensive. I mean, to be willfully ignorant is just grotesque from my perspective. But there's not much point in being aware if you can't do anything with it. There's no weapon you can fight with. There's no war you can fight. There's no battlefield. Where can you take it? Where can you do anything with it? Where can you have the truth prove itself? Does it ever get a chance to prove itself? Because we're not going to force that issue. We'll watch American Idol and some kind of dopey Friends sitcom or some other kind of Steinberg or whatever the fuck. Just bullshit filler. We'll entertain ourselves, but we won't get into the real game, which is, you know, figuring out the truth. I mean, that's the big game. You know, this little personal life crap is small potatoes, as they say. The big potato is the truth. That's kind of a weird metaphor. But anyway. So, feeling very hopeless, despondent, depressed, sick. Really don't like being alive at the moment. Doesn't appeal to me. But, you know, tomorrow's another day. And, you know, just say, well, what else you got to do but fight? So even if it's a lost cause, even if there's no point, you might as well keep yammering, because what else is there? You know, your personal life is shit. So it's not like you got some other pressing engagement. Oh, look how much lighter it is here. It's funny how the sun works. It's shiny where the sun is, and it's dark where the sun isn't. Like shadowy thing. It must be physics or something, I don't know. Complex science. Can't go there. My eyes look green, but they're not. Ooh. Well, anyway. Yeah, I look fatigued. Yeah, life is wearing thin. It's escaping. Okay, so anyway, that's all. I'm not going to babble anymore. Crows. They're kind of like dinosaurs too. Anyway, they're just playing, hey, I want to consume something. So, anyway, till whenever I press the button again and make another one of these stupid videos for no good reason.